Hi, fourth grade. Welcome. So excited to have you today and to have you joining us for talking about plotting with fractions. So, as we're getting going today, my essential question to you is wait a minute, how does one use or how does one read a line plot? So, you might be thinking, I know we've talked about this a lot, but we are going to be using a line as well as stem and leaf plots to be able to read and understand data and data table today. So the first thing I want to talk about is some of the vocabulary that goes in with data and data tables, fourth grade. The first one is a line plot. A line plot is a graph that looks like a number line with marks above it to show how often various values appear in a data set. So right here on this data set, I see that 1/4, there are two 1/4 in the data set. I see that there is 1 and 2/4 in my data set. So I know a data set is a group of numbers shown. So right over here, a frequency, the frequency is the number of x's here. That tells me how often or the number of times a certain value appears in my data set. But then I also have something called a stem and leaf plot. A stem and leaf plot is a 2-column table that organizes data by place value and compares various data frequencies. So for example, I have the number 6 as the stem. This is the whole number. So this is 6, this is 7, this is 8. My leaf in this case is the fraction portion. So this is saying I have a 6 1/5, 6 3/5, 6 4/5. This is saying I have 7 1/5, 7 2/5, 7 3/5, 7 4/5. Right here, this 8 is telling me I have 8 1/5, 8 2/5. So let's go ahead and kind of take a look and try this a little bit looking at this data set. So my data set is already in numerical order. It is ascending. That means it's going from the least number up to the greatest number. I also see in my data set that I have decimal numbers. So I see that I have the number 3 whole, 4 whole, and 5 whole. So over here on my stem, I'm going to put the number 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to go ahead and take my numbers and I'm going to start at the decimal point over here on the leaf. So I have a 2/10. I have another that is 3/6. 3 6/10. Then I have another 3 6/10. So these ones are done. Now I'm going to start over at my 4. I have 4 no tenths, 4 8/10, 4 8/10, 4 8/10. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Then I have 5 4/10 and 5 6/10. So my numbers, I've now taken my data and I've transferred that data over here into my data table. Before I continue, I'm now able to begin to plot my numbers on my number line. I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I got off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So when I go ahead and take a look, I'm going to do 3 2/10. We'll put this as 3 4/10. I'm going to change up my number line. So we're going to do 3.2. We'll put this as 4/10, 6/10, 8/10, 4 whole, 6/10, 8/10, 5 whole. So 2/10, 4/10, 6/10, 8/10, 6 whole. Now I can go ahead and plot my information. So I have 1x as my frequency above 3 2/10. Above 3 6/10, I'm going to put an x and then a second x because it appeared twice. I'm going to do the same thing over here above the 4, 2 x's, above the 8, 3 x's above the 8, and then I'm ready to come on over. Okay, I have 1x above the 4/10, 1x above the 6/10. All right, so now I've graphed my data on my stem and leaf plot, but also on my line plot. I can now begin to answer some of the questions that we've talked about, which is what is the mode? Remember, MO in mode, MO in most. So I'm looking at my number that occurs the most often, 4th grade. So because this is going to be occurring the most often, I'm going to kind of look over here at my line plot because this is a quick visual way to see like, oh, right here, there's 3 x's. So I know that 4 8/10 is my mode. My range in the data set is when I take the greatest number, which is 5 6/10, and then I take away from it the smallest data number in the data set, which is 3 2/10. And I know 4th grade, when I do this, I'm going to start at the tenths column. I'm going to go ahead and bring down that decimal, make sure everything is aligned. 6 take away 2 is 4. 5 take away 3 is 2. So I'm going to get 2 4/10. Let's talk about the median number. Remember, the median number is kind of like medium, like a medium pizza. It's a middle-sized pizza. The easiest way to find the median number is to actually go to my number line up here that has the data set listed. And we just cross it off into the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. The middle number is what I'm left with. So that is going to be 4 8/10. So my median and the mode was actually the exact same number. Let's go ahead and try another one. So looking at a data set here, I see that I have some different things that I'm looking at in regards to miles traveled. So I see that there's 1 3/9, 1 3/9, 1 8/9, 2 1/9, 2 1/9, 2 3/9, 3 3/9, 3 1/9, 3 8/9. So different observations that I can make. Just looking right here at this data table, I can tell that my miles traveled were pretty similar and consistent. I noticed that the first 2 on each one is the same. All right, that's going to be a little bit different on March. March has some days that have multiple in the category for the 2. So I know that in the month of March, there were actually more miles traveled just by looking at my numbers in the data set in the number line. So now I can go ahead and begin looking at some of my questions here. What is the difference between the medians for January and March? Well, in order to find the median number, what do I have to do? Remember, median is medium. This is going to be my middle number. Well, my median, if I start crossing off end to end and working backwards, I'm going to see my median number here is 2 1/9. On this end, my median is going to be 2 1/9 as well. So my median number, this is asking for the difference between them. So I know difference means subtraction. So there is 0, no difference. Which data set has the highest mode? So remember, mode is most often occurring, MO and mode, MO and most. So when I look at my numbers that occur the most frequently in each data set, so I see that my most frequently occurring number, I have 2 1/9 here, and then 1 3/9 there. So this is a bimodal number because there are 2 modes in this one. On my second set, I see my mode. Same thing over here. I have 2 1/9. I actually have 3 of them because that 9 right there shifted over. All right, so I know 2 1/9 is the higher one here. Over here, because it's bimodal, remember I have to find the average between it. So I know the average between 1 3/9 and 2 1/9 is going to be less than 2 1/9 because 1 3/9 is less than 2 1/9. So I know which data set has the highest mode, that is March. Then the next set of questions I'm looking at is how many trips were less than 2 3/9 of a mile. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the month of January, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 in the month of March. So we have a total of 9 trips. So 4th grade, let's go ahead and shift on over to Buzz and take a look at our assignment over in Buzz this morning. So 4th graders, when we go in and we take a look at our assignment, and what are we working on today? Notice you are going to be working on line plots and plotting line plots with fractions. So when we go down into 11:02 this morning, you're going to see that you have your lesson and a handout, okay? So you're going to be working on practicing some of these plotting problems. You have some comparisons to review, greater than, less than, or equal to with our numbers and fractions on a number line. You have a review of some of these different line plots. As you continue, you're going to have some try it problems as you're going through. I suggest doing these in like your math notebook and journal. As you continue, when you get to this next set, you have information reviewing, some various questions in regards to the lesson, and then on that last page, you have the assignment, plotting with fractions. Okay? Right here, it's 2 pages long. You're going to pick which of my data sets goes with my numbers in the box. Okay? Down here on number 2, you're going to take the numbers in the data set and then create a line plot for them. Same thing on 3. On this one and this one, you're going to label each line plot. So you're going to complete the labels on the number line for both of them. Then you can answer some questions over those data sets. All right, good luck, 3rd grade. Sorry, good luck, 4th grade. You got this.